Okay, now let's take a look at Avast Antivirus. If I go over here, I can see the Avast Antivirus icon. This is a free program, but it is one of the most effective products you can use to keep your computer free from viruses. And at PCs for Maine, we have used all of these programs together and found that they work very well together without causing conflicts. If you add other programs, different spyware removers, and especially other antivirus programs, you can actually cause a problem. So make sure that you don't add any further programs to this regimen, because we know for a fact that this combination works very well. And also, if you are not seeing in your system tray this orange and white icon for Avast Antivirus version 5, you may see instead a blue circle and a white A for Avast. And that means you have the older version, and it's time for you to get an upgrade as soon as possible. You can do that by right-clicking on that icon and going to Update, and then left-clicking on Program. When you're done, it will ask you to restart your computer, and when that happens and you look to your system tray, you should then see that your icon has changed to this newest version, the orange and white. Okay, so I'm going to take this and give it a double left click to open up the Avast Antivirus interface. Okay, over here on the left we can see at the top the summary area, and this is showing us that the system is fully protected, which is good. There are further details it can show us about the real-time shields that are shown over here. These green check marks are what you want to see. If your program version isn't up to date, it will tell you here. If your virus definitions are not up to date, you will see it here as well. It's showing here that the definitions are on auto update, and that is what we like to see. The program, however, will be updated. You should come over here, just as I showed you in the system tray. You can right click here without having to open the program and go to Update and choose Program. And you should do this once a week anyway, because even though the program is new, there has already been updates for this on the web. So even though Avast Antivirus is in its newest version, there have already been updates to the major program, and the only way to get those updates and to be 100% current is to come over here and give this a left click. So be sure you do that once a week. After that, the most important thing to do is to scan your computer. Once a week, we recommend that you do a full system scan, and you can come over here and you can see some details about what the scan is going to look for. Over here it says Scan PUP, that's potentially unwanted programs, and it's not a bad idea to turn that on. If you hit the start button, it will run through the scan, and I'm going to do that now. I'll give it a left click, and it starts the system scan, and you can see how much has been tested. It's already gone through a bit there, and you can see what percentage over here of the scan is completed. And what will happen is it will go through every file on the computer in every part of each hard drive, and if you have flash drives connected to your computer, it will check those as well. It does a full system scan. At the end of the scan, it may or may not find a virus. At the moment, it shows down here that there are 0 infected files, and that's what you want to see. But if it finds an infected file at the end of the scan, it will ask you some questions. It will say, well, do you want to repair this file? And if you recognize what the file is and you know that it's important, you may want to choose that option. Very rarely is that the case. More often than not, it's just the single file that is the virus itself. Sometimes it's in what's called an archive, but it can find it anyway in the archive files and try to remove it as well. We recommend that you delete any virus contamination that comes up in the list, and you can also try to automate that process to a certain extent. The way it's set up now by default, when you run the scan, it will ask you how you want to deal with the infected file at the end of the scan. But if I stop this scan, and if I come down here to the settings area, I can give it a left click, And over here at the top where it says Actions, it says Automatically Apply Actions During Scan. And if I give this a left click and put a check mark in the box, it opens up the Settings area. And instead of taking no action and prompting me with questions as far as what I should do with each individual virus if it finds anything at the end of the scan, I can simply give this a left click and choose Delete. And now it will do it automatically. Every time it finds a virus, it's going to try to delete that virus. If that action fails, then it will go back to taking no action, just as it would normally, and again, it will give me prompts at the end of the scan. All of the other settings in here I would leave to the defaults, and I'm going to click OK with my left mouse button over here. Also, for any questions that I haven't answered in this video, and for further information on the total functionality of the program, you can come up here to the Help Center and give it a click, and all the information is there waiting for you. If you have any further questions about what was covered in this video and they're not answered by the help file in the computer software or by going to the manufacturer's website, you can contact us by going to infotechexchange.org.